Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So with busy season now finally officially over, we will soon be returning to your regularly scheduled programming, so to speak. But because busy season was so busy this time compared to previous times, I haven't had time to catch up on some of the other series I want to start doing read-throughs for just yet. So I think the current plan is I was saying that the read-throughs will be back next week sometime. So I think I'm gonna actually push it off until mid-May, just so I have some time to kind of rest and recover a little bit. So I don't risk burning myself out, and so I can also catch up on rereading some of the series I want to get around to read-throughs for. So yeah, I'll do a proper channel update about that with regards to that sometime next week. With that said, I did want to get around to at least the Shonen Jump chapters this weekend because I didn't want to let that backlog get too big as well, and I didn't want to risk getting spoiled on things. So with that said, we're going to get around to Kaiju. We're going to get around to the last weekend's chapter of Akane-Banashi. We're going to get around to Spy Family. And then the next chapter of Goku Rakuga is coming out tomorrow, so look forward to that dropping as well. Really looking forward to that one as well. It's the one series, like, the monthly wait really does kill me. Like I mentioned, a lot of great content coming your way, and now that we're getting back to a more consistent schedule. So if you haven't already, please do consider commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of great content coming your way. But without further ado, let us get into it with Akane-Banashi, Story 59, A Difficult Choice, with story by Yuki Tsunaga and art by Takamasa Moe. And we have... I knew it. Sorry, I skipped ahead to the next page to see the translation credit stuff, and I knew it. We'll see if I was right about what I theorized. So we have, was it Mikaru going, it's like a real cloud pleaser, the abstaining guard, Toad Oil, a story that matches your nin, and Changing Time and your father's Rakugo. It's like, so, which one will you choose, Akenaru? I knew it. And she goes, please teach me Changing Time. As you have Rakugo supervision by Keiki Hayashiya, translation by Stephen Paul, lettering by Asnir Aran. And Mikaru was like, alright, let's get started then. Go ahead and get changed. And she's like, sure. And you have a click, and she's like, this is fine. I want to win the selection round and be in the 4-person event. I want to catch up to Kaisei Anisan. But what I really want is to show off where my roots came from. I called it. I said it last chapter. I knew it. It thinks back to you need a keen eye to choose the right stories that match your strengths and style. And you have a little flashback to her again, like peeking through the little door for our father as he was practicing. And she goes, there are some things more important than going for the easy win. But that's not the same thing as giving up. I'm going to win, and I'm going to do it my way. It'll be fine. This is the right choice. And you have an aha, you're ready to go as they've changed into the robes. And he goes, if you need to make a recording, you can start now. She's like, okay. He's like, let's see. And she's like scrolling through her phone. He's like, that was a decisive choice. She's like, huh? He's like, I was just thinking that in my opinion, I gave you a really difficult set of 3 to choose from. He's like, oh, you're aware of that? It's like, I sure was. It's like, and I didn't expect you to pick so quickly. I'm impressed. He's like, there are no absolutes on stage. Trends, compatibility, odds, strategy. No matter what the outsiders say, you're the only one who can make your choice the right one. There's no need for doubt now. Once you've chosen your path, the only thing left is to run down it as hard as you can. Now, the story. So let's begin your lesson. You have Changing Time. A man stays out late drinking, and when he finally gets home, he drinks some more. And his wife is chagrined by his incorrigible behavior. In this lighthearted story full of banter, he's like, this is what you get for not being able to hold your liquor. Just go to bed already. He's like, no, I won't go to bed. I'm gonna keep drinking. He's like, I told you can't hold your liquor. And Akane's like, if you don't mind me explaining before... Sorry, I saw Mikaru going. If you don't mind me explaining before I perform, the attributes of Changing Time are relaxation and drama. It's the kind of story that really hits its stride when performed by an expert. It's the veterans who perform this one at a live show. That's because the key to this story is, it's like, you don't get it. Men just want to be stubborn. We want to be contrarian. If you ask want another drink, then I'm not going to want one anymore. He's like, what, really? Then do you want another drink? It's like, don't mind if I do. He's like, hey, fool, stop it with your nonsense. You have the air of a married couple who have been together for years. Being able to evoke that relationship takes this story to a completely different level. And Akane is like, no wonder they say this is a story for experts. It's like, no, wait, what is this feeling? The inflection in his words, his pauses, his gestures, his faces, they all overlap. They match what I copied so many times. As she's like a little shadowed, like, double image of her father sitting next to Maikaru. She's like, they match my dad's Rakugo. He's like, well, I've got plans after this. Once you think you've got it down, drop me a line. He's like, I will. Thank you very much. And she thinks back to him telling her, I'll teach it to you just as Aniki taught me. And she's like, he couldn't have recreated it to such a perfect degree after only a lesson or two. Plus, he calls Dad Aniki. What kind of relationship did Ani-san have with Dad? Yeah, really? You're teaching her a story? Didn't you say you're intentionally keeping your distance when she first joined? It's like, only because I wanted her to bond with the younger guys first. I was probably worried over nothing, though. I suppose that part of her she got from you, her mother, Onego, rather than Aniki. The hell is her mother a stylist? Hold on. Hold on. Huh. Weird. Again, so it's just kind of a weird transition, like the way it was framed and everything, but it's like we had dinner as a group the other day and I was amazed when she chose soma and noodles onigiri. It's like, what kind of combination is that? Eat some vegetables, girl. It's like, oh, check this out, Onego. I was cleaning up some old data on my phone and found this. It's like, oh my gosh, how old is she here? 3? You see this blonde micro just doing like a pose as he's hanging out with baby Akane. He's just like playing with his hair. He's like, haha, that's when you still bleached your hair. You actually babysat her at some point? It's like, only once. Aniki begged me to do it because you were going out to dinner for your anniversary. It's like, please. It's like, okay, bro. It's like, oh, I remember that. It's like, it's amazing to think about. Now I'm teaching that tiny kiddo Rakugo. He's like, are Futatsume allowed to teach? He's like, it's allowed between apprentices if the master approves it. It doesn't happen often, though. It's like, I learned from Aniki too, you know. It's like, really? Toru really looked after you then? It's like, I'd say so. He taught me everything from how to greet my seniors to how to drink. Honestly, he's the one who taught me how to be a human being. I can never fully repay a debt like that. But being overprotective is the enemy of growth. I've done all I can for Akenaru at this point in time. The only question is, how will she make changing time her own? Oh, I'm really looking forward to this. So, yeah. So, like I mentioned at the end of the last chapter, I kind of like threw out like a bunch of theories, like analyses about like which one she's going to go with. And I was right, and I was right about why. And I'm sorry, it just makes me feel so happy whenever I get these, whenever I nail these on the mark. So I'm really, really glad I kind of did predict that with such accuracy. But apart from that, not much to say. It's kind of interesting learning. Again, I like that we're getting like learning a little bit more about Maikaru now, and kind of like his style, I guess. Like, we don't know yet like what his speciality is, so to speak. But we've kind of seen a display of his skills with kind of Akane being like, you know, he was able to imitate my father so expertly, like yada yada yada. So I think that was like a good little like amuse-bouche for like his future appearances and stuff like that when we see him actually perform. And again, I do like how we're getting like introductions and insights into like different Rakugo stories, like what they're about, like, you know, what the aim is for, like stuff like that. So I do like, again, like all of those so I'm tripping over my tongue trying to speak too fast. I do love those little tidbits, again, with the series trying to give you like an appreciation for the range of like Rakugo stories and the breadth of what they kind of encompass. So I really do again love those little touches. It's going to be interesting to see Akane how she does this story specifically, because like you mentioned, the heart of the story, so to speak, is like based like, you know, the kind of like easy camaraderie between two people that have been together for so long that it feels like the relationship just feels like very natural, like there's a flow to it. So I wonder if, because Akane, again, this is going to be kind of like another situation back to when she's doing fetching tea, where Akane is kind of like, you know, I don't have experience with relationships, so I can't really imitate like, you know, a married couple to kind of do the story, which makes me wonder if she's gonna pick on her relationship with Jumbo as the basis for it, because again, it's not exactly like a married romantic relationship, but having a friendship that's also lasted that much for that long, I feel like could imitate kind of like the same narrative beats and styles as you're going for, like the same kind of easy camaraderie, the comfortableness that you have with another person that you kind of known for so long. Or she might also channel the relationship with her father, because once again, like as she's talking about, like, you know, Micro being like, you know, this the way he kind of imitated and like redid her father's performance isn't something you could have just done after like one performance or having sat with the person for like 1 hour or so. This is something that would have developed over like a period of time as you got to know the person deeply and intimately. So I wonder if that's going to be the brunt of the focus instead. Is Akane is going to try to channel the relationship between her and her father, like the familiarity between them, because I think that is also a stronger kind of tangent or point to go with regards to this, especially because the whole thing is Akane kind of trying to be like, you know, I want to showcase my father's Rakugo. I want to showcase, you know, the wonders of it and kind of make people appreciate his Rakugo and the way it was when he was performing. But as Micro points out, like, you know, you also have to make Rakugo your own. You can't just copy and imitate someone else's style. You have to find what your own style is, what your own strengths are, things like that. So I feel like that would be the stronger direction to go, is Akane kind of matching her showcasing her relationship with her father and using that to kind of showcase the differences between their styles, even though it's using that to kind of showcase that while their styles are similar, use that to also showcase the differences through, you know, her mannerisms, through her voice, things like that, through the performance, kind of showcase that, like, you know, while my father was an inspiration for my style, and while I want to pay tribute to it, I'm also going to make it my own. So I feel like that would be the really interesting like narrative direction to go with it. We'll see if I'm right again with this. We'll see what direction the story goes and what Akane does with it. But again, really, really solid chapter. Really looking forward to it. The one weird thing was just, again, the transition between the scenes where he goes to see her mother apparently for the haircut, because it's been so long since we've seen the mother, I didn't recognize her. And it just, like, the way it was phrased, like the abrupt transition was like the only weird part. I'm like, threw me off for a second, but yeah. Again, validation when I was basically playing him as a surfer boy, because his backstory with the blonde hair, like the way he's talking and everything, screams that. So again, really glad it was something else that just kind of nailed with it. But yeah, really good chapter of Akane. Looking forward to the next one when it comes back next week. Can't wait to see where it goes from here. So like I mentioned at the beginning, look forward to the Shonen Jump chapters dropping today. So I already finished recording Kaiju, so after this, Akane will be... I've just finished recording Akane, so I'm going to get around to Spy Family after this. Apart from that, I'm going to get around to also Yona of the Dawn's recent volume as well, just because I borrowed it from the library, and I do need to take it back relatively soon. So I can't really sit around on it for much longer. That's kind of the one exception to the read-through rule. So look forward to that as well. As always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned, it does mean a lot to me Till next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.